The tension inside the Superdome is often about who is protecting our quarterback, and right now, every New Orleans Saints fan is holding their breath about the right side of that line. We all hoped for a major shakeup this offseason, but the reality inside the building tells a different story that might frustrate you. Despite the rumors and the draft picks, one specific veteran has officially locked down his role, leaving many to wonder if we are repeating the same mistakes from last year's struggles. It is time to talk. Cesar Ruiz is the man who will be lining up at right guard when the season kicks off. And it seems head coach Dennis Allen and the front office have made their final decision. Even though some of us were expecting a heated competition in training camp, the financial reality and the current roster depth have paved a clear path for the veteran to retain his starting job. When you look at the business side of the NFL, his 4-year, $44 million extension is the primary reason he is staying put. Cutting or benching a player with a $16 million dead cap hit is a move very few teams can afford to make, and the Saints are certainly not in a position to flush that kind of money away right now. While the team was aggressive in adding David Edwards from the Buffalo Bills to solidify the left side, they haven't found a similar high-level replacement for the right side. We also saw the arrival of Travis Etienne in the backfield, which adds more pressure on this unit to perform. Dennis Allen knows that the success of the ground game depends entirely on the guys up front moving people out of the way. In the 4th round of the draft, the team selected Jeremiah Wright from Auburn, but the scouting reports suggest he is more of a long-term project rather than a guy who can step in and take a veteran's job on day one. We also have Dylan Raduns on the roster, but he was brought back primarily for depth and to provide a safety net in case of injuries. Other names like Nick Saldiveri are still in the mix, but his history of being frequently injured makes it hard for the coaching staff to rely on him as a full-time starter. This means the path is open for the former first-round pick to prove his doubters wrong once again. The front office is betting heavily that the continuity will lead to better results than what we witnessed during the disappointing rushing performances of last season. It is a high-stakes gamble that will define the early part of our schedule and determine if the offense can truly move the chains. The story of the right guard position has been a roller coaster of emotions for everyone following the team closely over the last few seasons. 2 years ago, it looked like he was finally turning the corner and becoming the anchor we expected him to be when he was drafted out of Michigan. During that stretch, he was ranked as a top 25 guard in the entire league, showing great mobility and a high football IQ. However, the most recent season was a step in the wrong direction for the veteran blocker, and the analytics reflect that regression clearly. He tumbled down the rankings significantly, finishing near the bottom of the league in run blocking efficiency, which directly contributed to our offense ranking 28th in rushing yards per game. It is hard to watch a powerful offensive line struggle to create lanes for our backs, especially when we know how talented this roster is at the skill positions. One interesting detail that often gets overlooked is his steady improvement in pass protection, where he actually ranked in the top 15 among all guards last year. This creates a strange paradox for the coaching staff because he is protecting the quarterback well, but failing to pave the way for the running game. In New Orleans, we have a long history of dominant line play, and we remember when guys like Jari Evans would physically dominate the line of scrimmage every single Sunday. That is the standard the fans expect, and anything less feels like a missed opportunity to win the division. The front office believes that having a stable veteran next to the new additions will help bridge the gap and create more consistency. They are counting on his experience to help the younger players and to communicate the blocking schemes effectively at the line of scrimmage. There is a hope that the dip in performance last year was just a fluke, and that he can return to his previous form with a better supporting cast around him. This season is essentially a crossroads for his career in the black and gold, and he needs to prove he can be the physical force we need him to be. Failure to fix the rushing attack will have devastating consequences for our hopes of returning to the playoffs this year. When a team cannot run the ball effectively, it puts an immense amount of pressure on the quarterback and makes the offense predictable for opposing defensive coordinators. We saw too many drives stall out last season because we couldn't get those tough yards on 2nd and short or 3rd and 1. If the line doesn't improve, it won't matter how fast our new running back is or how many weapons we have on the outside. The offensive line is the engine of the entire team, and if that engine is sputtering, the whole car stops moving. We have seen this story before where a lack of investment or a decline in veteran play leads to a wasted season of elite defensive performances. Our defense is good enough to win a championship, but they cannot stay on the field for 40 minutes a game because the offense can't sustain a drive. The risk of sticking with the same lineup is that we might see the same mediocre results that left us on the outside looking in last January. Every fan knows the feeling of watching a game and seeing the pocket collapse or seeing a running back get hit 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It is a frustrating experience that wears down the morale of the entire locker room and the fan base. On the other hand, if this unit can gel and provide consistent lanes, this offense has the potential to be one of the most explosive in the league. The difference between a 10-win season and a losing record often comes down to these unglamorous positions in the trenches. Dennis Allen and the general manager are putting their jobs on the line by trusting that this group can turn things around without a major veteran replacement. This is not just about one player. It is about the identity of the Saints and whether we can regain our status as a physical, dominant force in the NFC South. The clock is ticking, and the pressure is mounting for everyone involved to deliver results immediately. The best-case scenario for the upcoming season is that the veteran right guard finds his rhythm and benefits from the new talent surrounding him on the line. With a Pro Bowl-caliber left guard now in the mix, the overall communication should improve, allowing the entire unit to play with more confidence and aggression. We could see a resurgence in the run game that takes the pressure off the passing attack and allows the play-action game to truly flourish. If he returns to his top 25 form, this offensive line could suddenly become a strength instead of a question mark for the team. Imagine a world where our new running back has massive holes to run through and our quarterback has all day to find open receivers down the field. That is the vision the front office has, and it is a path that leads directly to a deep playoff run and a potential division title. However, the worst-case scenario is much darker and something we have to be prepared for as realistic fans. If the regression we saw last year continues, the right side of the line will become a massive target for every defensive coordinator we face. We could see a repeat of the stagnant offense that frustrated us all last year, leading to more wasted opportunities and potential injuries to our key players. If the running game remains near the bottom of the league, the season could spiral out of control very quickly, regardless of how well the defense plays. There is also the financial burden to consider, as a bad season would make the decision to move on next year much more painful but necessary. We are essentially walking a tightrope where one slip-up could mean the end of the current era of Saints football. The stakes could not be higher for a group that has struggled to find its identity since the retirement of some of our legendary players. Every snap in training camp will be scrutinized, and every missed block in the preseason will be analyzed by a fan base that is tired of excuses. The difference between success and failure is often measured in inches on the football field. The New Orleans Saints are making a massive gamble on the continuity of their offensive line, specifically at the right guard position. While many fans were calling for a change, the team has decided to double down on their veteran starter, believing that his contract and past performance justify one more chance. It is a decision that will either be hailed as a brilliant move of loyalty or criticized as a stubborn refusal to address a clear weakness. As an insider who watches this team every single day, I can tell you the energy in the building is focused on improvement, but the margin for error is razor thin. We need to see results on the field immediately, or the calls for change will only grow louder. Be honest with me right now. Do you actually trust that this line can protect our season, or are you worried we are heading for another year of disappointment? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below because your voice matters to this community. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more exclusive Saints updates. Make sure your notifications are turned on so you never miss a beat.